Hello, congratulations on the birth of your baby. It's been about half an hour since the placenta has separated, and I think it's a good time to go ahead and cut the cord. What do you think? Now, the reason I think it's a good time to cut the cord is that when we look at the umbilical cord, it's no longer pulsating. We see it's nice and pale, there's no more blood running through it, and it's lost like that buoyancy that thicker veins would have, what the thicker arteries would have. So I think it's a good time to go ahead and cut the cord. So what I'm going to do first is wash my hands with soap and warm water, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my equipment. My equipment would consist of my tying yarn, two cord clampers, and my cord scissors on a nice plate with a chucks pad underneath the tools. So I'm going to go ahead and put the primary clamping scissors about 2 inches away from the navel. 2 inches is good because when the cord finally cuts, we want to make sure that it's a nice short stump that's not going to get in the way of the baby. And then about 3 inches from there, I'm going to put my secondary clamping scissors there. And I like a 3 inch margin because typically it's a birthing partner or a dad who wants to cut, and it's good to give them a wider area to cut instead of a more narrow area. I feel like it's a little more daunting when you give someone who may be inexperienced with birth a narrower margin to cut. So yeah, I like to go for like a nice 3 inch margin because even 3 inches from the umbilicus, well, from the primary clamping scissors, is still very, very short. So clamping scissors here, and we're gonna cut right here. Now, when we cut, I'm going to remove the clamping scissors, and typically where that primary clamp was, I'm gonna get my yarn. Now, how I've seen it in my practices and as a student is that midwives will do like a loop tie, like the first thing you do when you're tying your shoes, you're crossing their laces into each other, and then they'll do that 4 times, and every time it's a very, very taut pull. You want to make sure that it's very, very tight. And we do that to make sure that we're not leaking anything, no blood, no plasma, and we ensure no risk of infection at all. So that little, when the clamp comes off, you're getting like this imprint, and that's a good spot, like at the bottom of that imprint is a good spot to go ahead and do that tie off. If the parent is assisting, they're going to go ahead and wash their hands. They don't necessarily need to glove because they're only going to be messing with the clamp scissors, or the clamp scissors. So they'll just take the clamp scissors, go ahead, and I'll point. I'll say right there, and then they will cut. Pretty easy and short and sweet. And from my experience, they the birthing parent or the dad doesn't cut very sharply the first time, so it's gonna be like that they're gonna be cutting it a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more every time. That's just from what I've seen. Yeah, I think that is a pretty good rundown of how things are going to go with the cutting of the umbilical cord.